I left my husband 5 months ago and I regret it. No, you're not supposed to say that.
In my 20s, I was wild. My 20s,
Your 20s is full.
I fumbled the man I probably should have married.
Fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the struggles of modern women who are facing major regrets in the dating world. They're sharing on TikTok how hard it is to find good men, how they dislike the options available today, and how some wish they had stayed married. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and let's get into it.
I fumbled the man I probably should have married, and I'm making this post so that y'all don't do the same thing that I did. This is an accountability post. I met him on Hinge, and this was back when the algorithm was working a lot better, and it was like 2022, I believe. I didn't like his profile. I just knew he was gonna like me, and the next day he did. Normally I name names, but just in case he has a new girl and they're at peace, I don't want to disrupt his situation, so I'm not gonna name his name. But anyway, we met up quickly, we went on a date, and we ended up being like glued to each other pretty fast. We were like in a relationship within like a month, I believe. He locked it down. He was not trying to see me single. This man was fine. He was like 6'3", buff, long hair. He looked like Roman Reigns. Society would easily give him a 9, easily. And if you know me, you know who I'm talking about. But frankly, his looks were pretty irrelevant, honestly. He actually was very kind, very sweet, very empathetic, very emotional, very in tune with his emotions, but also quite emotional. And, you know, he just had a lot of very positive traits. The number one being, he did not play about me at all. We went to brunch with his brother and sister-in-law, and they were kind of cold, like not really like, I don't know, warming up to me. And he called that out immediately. He was like, absolutely not. When his brother was not trying to get to know me after like we had met, he was like, can you put more effort in with Britt? Like, that's my girl. Like, put some respect on Britt's name. Like, he did not play about me at all. I had never in my life dated a man like that. I had never dated a man who was on my side. Like, who, like, I don't know, defended me. I've never had that before. He also impressed my parents. My mom liked him a lot. She said I broke his heart, and honestly, I agree. But yes, my parents liked him a lot. So we dated for like 6 months, and I kept feeling like something was just missing throughout the relationship. Like, something just felt like it was missing. And I would communicate that to him, like, oh, I like you a lot. I love you, but like, something's just missing. And I didn't know what it was, and this poor guy was just doing his best to try to figure out what was missing, like trying to make adjustments, but like he just couldn't figure it out, and neither could I, because I didn't have the self-awareness that I have now. What was missing was chaos. No matter how many adjustments he was willing to make, he couldn't adjust himself to become a chaotic, toxic man when he just wasn't that. And that's all I had ever been used to. You see, I had not taken the time to like truly heal myself after my relationship prior to him, which was with an abusive guy. Very abusive, emotionally avoidant guy. Emotionally unavailable, everything. Okay, I had not healed from that. Not enough to be with a person who was safe. And so one day when he pissed me off, I broke up with him like on a whim. Because the majority of my prior relationships were with like antagonistic men, I was not ready to receive someone who was safe and loving and kind and caring. Maybe I didn't think I deserved it. Maybe I couldn't recognize what it was. My nervous system didn't know what to do with safe. My parents were kind of emotionally unavailable. Growing up in that dynamic, you kind of look for that in partners as well. So I ended up with emotionally unavailable men, back to back to back. That brings me to my next point. For a while, what I felt like the relationship was lacking was him being a true leader. He would defer to me to make a lot of decisions because he felt like I was more intelligent than him. He would want me to like plan stuff. He would want me to just like make a lot of choices that I felt like the man should make. And I just didn't want to do that. I wanted like a leader in the way that I saw leader, how I viewed it. But like, knowing that he has weaknesses and that I have strengths, and then deferring to me where he's weak and letting him take the reins where he's strong is leadership. Like, okay, he could lead when it comes to protecting and providing and whatever, but he may have needed help with planning and stuff that he's not so good at. But I just couldn't see that at the time because I was dumb. I thought I needed 10 out of 10 boxes checked. But relationships are not found, they are built. Soulmates are built. Boxes can be built. If the person is at 7 or 8 and the last 2 need some work, you can meet them halfway. They can meet you halfway. Adjustments can be made. You don't have to break up. So though he had 8 of my 10 boxes, I was still too traumatized to accept him. I couldn't regulate my own nervous system fully yet. I had gotten to that point at 25 and met a very abusive man at 26, and I lost all my progress. So I still needed chaos, and I ruined it. The next guy I dated after that ended up being another avoidant who was emotionally unavailable and ended up breaking my heart worse than anybody else I'd ever experienced in my entire life. So I got my karma pretty fast, I guess. Let this be a lesson. If you've met someone who's good, they protect you well, they show up, they love you, but you feel like something's missing or something feels off or whatever the case may be, or it feels boring, make sure that something is not just the trauma that you're used to. Make sure that, you know, you have healed enough to even receive what they're offering you. You don't need a perfect man. You just need a man that checks enough boxes that you can work with the rest. Anyway, that angel wasn't even on social media like that, so he'll probably never see this, but still, if you do see this, I hope you're doing.
In this clip, this woman tells a familiar story. She says she once dated her perfect 10 out of 10 man. He was caring, stable, loyal, and everything she said she wanted. But somehow, it still wasn't enough. Instead of appreciating what she had, she talks about not being healed, about needing space, and about trying to find herself. At first, it sounds self-aware, as if she's taking accountability for her mistakes. But as you listen longer, it starts to feel like another layer of justification, a way to make poor choices sound thoughtful. She says all the right words, but the meaning rings hollow. The man she describes could have been her partner for life, yet she let him slip away chasing a version of happiness that doesn't exist. And now, she's left with nothing but reflection and regret. It's a common mistake of modern women, confusing self-work with self-sabotage. Her story is a reminder that accountability means change, not just confession, and that sometimes realizing too late is the real tragedy. Now, like many other modern women in her position with these insane standards and unrealistic expectations, she will probably end up single and alone as the wall hits her with full force. Men will begin to look at her differently as her sexual marketplace value declines. But her internal expectations either stay the same or get even more unrealistic. Thus is the life of the modern woman. A few years from now, she will likely be on TikTok just like these next women you will see, complaining and living full of regret and sorrow.
I'm also regretting when I was 23 and I was dating like a 32-year-old man. He wanted me to be a trophy wife. Can I take that back? Can I be a trophy wife and just stay home because like this working corporate baddie and being an influencer and a single mom at the same time ain't me. I don't want to be an independent queen anymore. No, independent queen, take me back.
There are so many women that are going to be in this situation because they have been lied to. And there are a lot of men out there that want to have families that have been trying to say this. They have been trying to say that they just want a woman that is loving and caring in nature. They don't care if you're a boss babe. If anything, unfortunately, it might work against you. Now for this woman, she's come to that realization with plenty of time. I think she's going to find what she wants.
I want to come on here and tell you guys my literal favorite thing about dating in 2025 as a 30-year-old. Okay, I love chef's kiss when these 30-year-old men start to date you and they're courting you and they say things like, I'm not your boyfriend. We're getting there. You're not my girlfriend. But like, when are you going to cook for me? When are you gonna do XYZ for me? You better not be seeing anybody else. Only me. And then you catch them on their fuckboy shit. And they're like, I'm single. We're single. I can do whatever I want. But if you would have done to them what they did to you, you're a hoe. Somebody make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't. They're like, I'm not going to send you a good morning text because you're not my girl. You going to cook for me though? You better not be seeing anybody else. Don't be out with your friends without telling me. I better know where you are. Sit at home waiting for me while I take other girls out when I don't text you. I don't know. I don't know about that. That's why I've been single.
And just like that, we get a glimpse into what dating really looks like for many women once they hit their 30s. The truth is, men naturally gravitate toward younger women, and that leaves a lot of women 26 and up struggling to find someone who actually takes them seriously. The sad part is, many of these women have already passed their peak in the sexual marketplace, carrying heavy baggage from past relationships, heartbreaks, or even children from men who never stayed. They spent their best years chasing excitement, careers, or the illusion of independence. And now, when they finally want stability, the men they desire have already moved on or wised up. Men have been adapting quietly over the last 2 decades. They've seen the patterns, the games, the entitlement, and they've adjusted their expectations accordingly. Now, most don't even bother trying to fix or save a woman who's clearly still chasing ghosts of her past. They simply enjoy the moment and move on. For many of these men, the idea of commitment to a woman who's still finding herself in her late 30s isn't appealing anymore. She might talk about accountability or healing, but it's often too little, too late. Feminism promised empowerment, but what it really created was division. It convinced women that they didn't need men, until the silence in their apartment at night reminded them otherwise. The dating world is broken for both sides now. Average men can't even get a chance, while women who wasted their prime years still hold impossible expectations. Everyone's chasing something that no longer exists. Genuine connection. And so the cycle continues. Women left alone, wondering where the good men went. And men walking away from a game that stopped making sense a long time ago.
I left my husband 5 months ago and I regret it. No, you're not supposed to say that. I know I'm supposed to be in my living my best life, hoe era, whatever, but no. These last 5 months have broken my spirit. They have been the hardest of my life. These last 5 months have required so much work, so much discipline to get back to myself. But it's supposed to suck. I talked to my friend last night about this on the phone and he really put it in perspective for me. Said the year you get a divorce was going to suck regardless. I question my decisions constantly. No matter what choice I made, I would have been miserable regardless. Life is not supposed to be happy and perfect all the time. Most growth comes from the times when we are having to do the work, having to sit in our misery, having to sit in the quiet. And that is exactly what I'm doing. 31 and I feel like I'm 18 again trying to navigate the world. Because you know what I regret more than leaving my husband? I regret having to get to that point anyway. I regret marrying the wrong person in the first place and not listening to my intuition. From my mistakes. So that you can learn from me being a dumbass because I feel dumb all the time. Of course, it's normal to have regret. I regret so many things in my life, but I can't let it ruin my life either. Never learn from things going right. We learn from them going wrong, and I'm holding on to that. I regret that I had to get to that point. I didn't want it to, but it happened, and we move on.
Here we go again. Nothing but cope. She's bending over backward trying to justify leaving her husband, making excuse after excuse, talking about finding herself or needing to heal, when deep down, she knows she walked away from the best man she'll ever have. And now? She's 31, single, and in the worst dating market modern women have ever faced. The attention isn't the same anymore. The men she wants don't want her, and reality is starting to sink in. Her so-called freedom has turned into loneliness, her independence into exhaustion. The world isn't built for single women to thrive long-term, especially in a failing economy where every decision counts. And yet, instead of accountability, we get another emotional monologue about self-love and doing what's best for me. It's the same script we've been hearing for years, recycled excuses dressed up as empowerment. These women talk about growth, but they never grow. They talk about learning, but they never learn. The only thing that changes is the number of candles on their birthday cake and the amount of baggage they carry into the next situation. The truth is, modern men have caught on. The sympathy is gone. They're no longer falling for the tears, the sob stories, or the "I wasn't ready back then" speeches. Men see the pattern now, and they're quietly opting out. They're building, saving, and protecting themselves from the chaos. Because in the end, accountability always comes, even if it's 10 years too late.
I just need to vent because why am I always the second option?
Every single time, I swear. I'm always the backup option. I'm always the option until a different option comes around. And I get it. I have a complicated life. I'm headstrong. I have 3 kids. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a single mom with 2 baby daddies. I understand all of that. It's not an easy situation. And the ones that I, you know, want to give me a chance, they just treat me like shit. And then the ones that I'm not interested at all, those are the ones that are like, you know, there's some of us out here that are trying and you just aren't giving us a chance. Well, Bob, you're 67 years old. What do you want me to do? Of course I don't want to give you a chance. Yes, I'm not dating my father. What do you want from me, Mark? You're sexualizing my body before you even have a conversation with me. What do you expect from me? User 6547829118512. I don't even know your first name. Who are you? What do you look like? Of course I'm not giving you a chance. Like, let's use our brains a little bit here, guys, okay? The only people I actually give a chance are people that I've had face-to-face conversations with. Even if we haven't met in real life, we've FaceTime, we've been on the screen, we've been face-to-face with each other. You can't connect over a DM, especially if you're not even my type in the first place. I don't know who you are. We're not friends. You don't have a profile picture. Your name's not in your bio. And your username says Big Daddy Mac. Hey, can I take you out to dinner? No, who are you? Of course no woman is going to go out on a date with you. But when you actually have a conversation or you're talking to someone and then they pick somebody else, that's when you're justified in saying, you know, I never get picked or whatever you guys want to complain about. Women don't feel safe. That's why they're not going out with you. It's not your personality. It's not that you're ugly. You haven't made her feel safe enough to go out with you. Stop blaming it on the women when it's probably your own doing. You know, I get picked second though. And I see them in person or over the phone or FaceTime. So that what does that say about me, I guess?
You have blown your youth. You spent the years between 18 and 35 doing whatever the hell you chose to do. No heat, no judgment. But you blew your youth. When your counterparts who were looking to marry up and marry well were getting married their junior and senior year in college, the first and second year after college, they were married at 22 and 23, and you were laughing at those white girls and those Asian girls getting married at 22, 23. You get married after college, that's too young. We need to go on girls trips and having our best life and hot girl summer and all this other bullshit. Now, they're 10 years into their marriage, 3 kids deep, and their husband's a VP of marketing somewhere. And while you still got you and your cats are living in a loft downtown, driving your BMW in a middling career. You ain't on no career track. You blew your youth. You blew your youth. You can't get that back. You don't have time to play any more games. You don't have another 10 years to try to figure this shit out. You'll be 50. You don't have time to keep playing games.
It dawned on me that I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband to take care of me.
Young people, take notes. That is the best thing that can happen here. When an elderly person says, I've gone before you and these are the mistakes I've made, don't make it. That is the best gift any elderly person can give you, because it means you can make better choices. The bad choices leaves them desolate, and you see that desolation, and that person is strong and wise enough to say, look, this is my reality, but you don't have to have that same reality. She has to depend on God's second chance, but you can make a better choice so that you don't even have to be at that point. And it's unfortunate because young people don't see these videos where older women at 46 are crying on TikTok, talking about how they made a major mistake, they let go of a good man, and now they're over 40 and they're alone and they wish they had made better decisions. Young men don't get to see men alone in their house who are wishing, oh, I wish I had a lady. They don't see those videos, and it's unfortunate.
So if you're over 30 and single, listen to my rant, please. Where do you find guys? And don't tell me online dating. No, I'm not going to believe you. If you just go, hey, online dating, found them on Bumble. Yeah, so did 3 of my best friends. Like Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder, actually. But, like, not now. We're not finding people online. Like, they just want our money. They don't want our love. So, where do you meet them? And then I've been getting TikToks, it's like, leave the house. It's like, okay, I'll leave the house. Where am I going?
Story time. I'm 34. I'll be 35 in almost a month. I have a good job, I have a good career, I'm a kind, loving person, I'm a good friend, I buy shit for myself. I moved to LA 11 years ago, and I have not asked anyone for a single thing in my life. I worked for everything that I have, and I'm failing at relationships. I really don't know what's wrong with me. Why am I so scary? But yeah, I've succeeded in many areas of my life, but relationships are really not happening for me. So at this point, I'm just thinking that, you know what, maybe it's not meant for me. Maybe I'm just meant to be by myself. The whole soulmate, love of my life, my best friend, whatever. I don't want a man who's not okay with me talking about my feelings or how I feel, or asking questions, or making plans, or thinking about future. I don't want a man who's scared of all that. And I don't think men who are not scared of that exist anymore. So, girlies out there who have a man like that, just cherish them and, thank them for all of us single ladies out here struggling with the current dating reality. Yeah, and tell them they're rare. And hopefully your kids will have their dad's character and the next generations of women will be luckier. I don't know what else to say. I mean, maybe I'm just ugly.
And that's the sad reality we're seeing more and more. The same stories, the same mistakes, and the same consequences that could have been avoided with just a little humility and self-awareness. The world is changing fast, and those who refuse to adapt are getting left behind. At Modern Men, we're not here to tear anyone down. We're here to expose the truth, spark conversation, and help men navigate this modern landscape with clarity and strength. If you enjoyed this video or got something out of it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us reach more people and grow this community. We're still a fairly new channel, and your support means the world to us. We've got plenty more insightful and hard-hitting content coming soon. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp, stay grounded, and we'll see you on the next one.